what's up? Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to Fantasy Filmball. My name's Matt.
And my name's Dyl, and yeah, as Matt said, good morning, because it is pretty early for the both of us, but we're here for our first live reaction that we've done since, last award season to the Golden Globe nominations. We're going to be watching the live stream here as they say all the nominations, so you can get our first live reactions to.
We'll see how much we get, but they are just about to start right now. Volker Bertelmann.
Okay, so we're back to even.
Conclave.
Nice. Okay. Conclave, Brutalist.
The Brutalist. Hey, Brutalist is here.
Chris Bowers, Wild Robot.
That makes sense for the Wild Robot.
I mean, everyone talk about Globes do animated.
Emilia Perez.
Trent Reznor.
There we go. Challengers gets in.
Ba-bam.
And Hans Zimmer, Dune Part 2.
Okay, see, I had denied that would happen, but it makes sense here.
Yeah, I mean, Dune Part 2, I personally believe will be that score that gets in everywhere where it's eligible, and obviously BAFTA, Oscars have already deemed it ineligible. So it'll be one where maybe even wins some of the precursors, but obviously it won't be an Oscar player.
I would still be really shocked if it won precursors. Winning feels like a big ask when it's not going, especially with something like the Critics' Choice Awards or the Golden Globes, where they do want to, in a way, predict. I don't know. But Critics' Choice.
During a motion picture, musical, or comedy are
Okay.
Jesse Eisenberg, A Real Pain.
Hugh
Grant,
Grant.
Heretic.
I like that.
Gabriel LaBelle, Saturday Night.
Okay.
Clemens is in.
Clemens, Kinds of Kindness.
Clemens is there. Kinds of Kindness exists.
And
Okay, so I think you did pretty good there. I missed two.
Sebastian Stan, A Different
It's Sebastian
Man.
Stan, a different man. Okay, so
Mindy?
this is live or die for Sebastian Stan today for Apprentice.
Good morning. The nominees for Best Performance by a Female
Okay, so another
actor
TV
in a
award.
supporting role.
Okay, another TV award. Okay, so I think the only one that I got wrong there was I didn't have Hugh Grant in. But I had him right on the edge. Or did I have Hugh Grant in?
I'm mad because at the very last minute I took out Hugh Grant. So it kind of, I guess I took him out for someone who eventually did get nominated, but you were right. No Joaquin Phoenix. Very sad.
Language
Not English language.
All We Imagine as
Nice.
Light is
Sideshow
in.
Janus
We like it.
Films, USA, France, India.
Amelia Perez, of course. All right, we're going to get...
Netflix, France.
Girl with the Needle.
The Girl with
They
the
skipped
Needle,
flow.
Movie.
No flow.
Poland, Sweden, Denmark.
I was right. They weren't going to
I'm
do
Still Here,
the
Sony
no
Pictures
language
classic,
movie.
Brazil.
I'm Still Here.
The Seed
Viva
of the
Brasilia.
Sacred Fig. Neon.
Fig.
USA, Germany.
Vermilio.
And Vermilio.
Vermilio.
Sideshow Janus Films. Italy.
That's a good one.
All right.
But yeah, that international or that non-English language feature category went, I guess, the way we expected. Obviously, we were kind of split on flow. I thought maybe the meows could count, but obviously they did not. So points to you, props to you for that. But Vermilio is the one that surprised, and I mean, I kind of like that nomination.
I like the nomination a lot, but to me, I don't see Vermilio. I think it just sets up Vermilio as like the fake one.
Motion picture
Best
are
original song.
Beautiful That Way, The Last
Whoa,
Shot,
Miley Cyrus.
by Andrew Wyatt,
Miley Cyrus.
and Lika Zakruson.
Oh, you're 2 for 2 right now.
Repress,
Challengers.
Music and lyrics by Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, and Luca Guadagnino. El Mal, Emilia Perez.
Okay.
Music and
Now they're
lyrics
gonna do
by
Mi Camino.
Clement Ducol,
They should.
Camille, and
The question is, are they going to do Diane Warren?
Forbidden Road, Better
They're
Man.
not doing Diane
Music
Warren.
and lyrics by
Forbidden
Bobby
Road got
Williams,
in.
Freddie Wexler,
Forbidden Road's
and
there, but they're
Sasha
not going to do
Starback.
Diane Warren.
They put
Kiss
the Wild
Sky,
Robot song
The
in.
Wild Robot.
Music and
They
lyrics.
could
by
they could get
DeLacy,
4
Jordan
noms
K.
today.
Johnson, Stefan Johnson,
Yeah.
Maren Morris, Michael Pollock, and Ali.
There's
Thomas.
Mi Camino.
And Mi Camino.
Mi Camino.
Emilia Perez.
But
Music
where's
and
El
lyrics
Camino?
by Clement Ducol, Camille.
I mean, I guess that makes sense for the Globes. As I talked about, they love their stars. So Robbie Williams, Miley Cyrus, they make sense.
Okay, we're back to TV stuff. So
I just got an ad.
You got an ad? I didn't have an ad.
I'm skipping it. Okay, I'm back. At least I didn't happen during a film category.
Yeah, at least.
I come back to Selena Gomez and Only Murders, though.
Yeah, but different Selena Gomez. Getting 2 nominations this year. Okay, so far, Challengers has 2. So that's pretty exciting.
It is. But I mean, obviously, it could add 2, maybe 3 more. Obviously, Josh O'Connor was not placed lead. Maybe he can squeak his way into supporting since they clearly like the film so far.
We'll have to see. This is going to be... We haven't gotten any categories that are super make or break yet, right? There's nothing yet that I've been like, oh my god, that missed? That's huge. Different Winslet nom, so...
Animated
The
feature.
nominees for Best Motion Picture
Animated.
There's Flo.
Flow, Sideshow and Janus
Okay,
Film.
is Snail here? That's going to be a big one for me.
Inside Out
Wallace
2,
and Gromit.
Walt
Inside Out
Disney
2.
Studios Motion Picture.
There's Snail.
Memoir of a
Snail.
Snail. Hell yeah.
IFC Films.
Moana 2. They
Moana
love
2,
their Disney.
You were
Disney
right.
Studios Motion
You were right. You were right.
And
Wallace
Wild
and
Robot
Gromit,
should
Wallace
close.
and Gromit.
Most
and
Foul, Netflix.
Wild Robot.
6 for 6
And
there.
The Wild Robot, Universal Pictures.
Hopefully that shuts up the Transformers
The
crowd.
nominees for Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture
There's
are
Gomez.
Selena
She's real,
Gomez,
guys.
Amelia
Gomez.
Perez,
She
2
is
pop
real.
girlies.
Ariana Grande, Wicked.
Ariana Grande. Oh, she deserves
Okay.
to win.
I'll take my L. There's
The
Jones.
Brutalist.
Felicity, there we go. They love the Brutalist. So,
Margaret
Quali's
Qualley,
in.
The
whoa,
Substance.
okay, that's an overperformance so
And
far.
Saldana should be the
Rossellini,
last one.
Conclave,
Okay.
and
So while
Julia
I did
Saldana.
miss Jones, I did call Rossellini and Gomez and Quali. So I guess some dubs, some L's.
The nominees for Best Screenplay, Motion
Best
Picture
screenplay.
are Jacques Audiard,
Ooh.
Amelia Perez.
Amelia Perez is in screenplay.
Brady Corbett, Mona Fastfold, The Brutalist.
Holy fuck.
Jesse Eisenberg, A Real Pain.
Substance is showing out.
Coralie Farja,
Yeah, Substance is overperforming.
And
Shout out
Peter
to
Shaw,
OE
Conclave.
and Brother Bro.
Wow.
Yeah, that screenplay category was so interesting. Like
Amelia Perez.
Amelia Perez got in, Substance got in,
Dude.
and then obviously our consensus top 4 of Brutalist, Agora, A Real Pain, and Conclave. But no Sing Sing. Sing Sing missed.
Yeah, Sing Sing missed. I'm riding with, at this point, like Amelia Perez is gonna massively overperform here. Massively.
I mean, yeah, Amelia Perez could be this year's Barbie in sense of like it gets every nomination it's eligible for.
It could, but unlike Barbie, it has the chance of winning a lot of those.
I guess some people thought Barbie could win at the early point of last season, but obviously by the time the award show happens, Amelia
Yeah.
Perez is going to be a lot stronger than Barbie was last year.
Yes, and you know, we saw with the EFAs yesterday that was it yesterday or was it the day before? Day before, I think. Who knows? But okay, wait.
They're TV.
TV. Yeah, TV stuff. But we saw the other day, I mean, Amelia Perez swept the EFAs. And I feel like, to me, that says enough that there is industry love for this. Regardless of what people want to believe, there is industry love. And I am feeling very strong on Amelia Perez at this point. But the Substance,
The
overperforming.
nominees for Best
Challengers,
Director,
under.
Motion Picture
Director,
are
okay.
Jacques Audiard, Amelia
Jacques
Perez.
Audiard.
Sean Baker,
Nice.
Honora.
Everyone's checking off the boxes right now.
Edward Berger,
Yeah.
Conclave.
No, it's easy so far.
Brady Corbett.
But the big thing is
Brutalist.
Farja.
And
Coralie Farja, there we go. So yeah, it's
Oh.
massively overperforming.
Did you hear the last one?
All we imagine as
Payal Kapadia, yeah.
Got an over Villeneuve, so there you go.
Wow.
Villeneuve missed. Someone else missed too. Oh, Chew.
Villeneuve. Yeah. At this point, At this point, could All We Imagine Is Light make it into some of the bigger categories?
I guess for me, if it makes it into drama, it would have to kick out either A Complete Unknown, maybe even Sing Sing, which missed screenplay, or Nickel Boys, which also missed director. I would say those two are very vulnerable at this
I
moment.
didn't realize that Ramel Ross didn't make director.
But I mean,
Wow.
Substance overperformance today is showing that it's alive and well. I mean, we have obviously
Yes.
been a little bit of doubters for it, but we will have
but
to obviously.
We've been doubters because we've wanted to see something like this
Yes.
happen, right? Because people online being like, oh, it's a big horror movie. It doesn't matter to me. Does not matter. Seeing it do this at the Golden Globes, pick up nominations that I didn't expect for director, for screenplay, for supporting actress for Margaret Qualley, all of that is showing much more that this actually is alive than anything else. And on the other side, challengers missing out on those key nominations very early on is, big as well, because if it's not because if it's not in screenplay, that shows a vulnerability that I was not expecting here.
And yeah, I guess for me, it goes back to something I said during our prediction episode, is that I don't believe that challengers and substance can coexist for nominations at these places. Obviously, here at Globes, they'll both find their way into musical or comedy, at least most likely. But in terms of like other awards bodies, they're going to go hard in one direction or the other. And obviously here for Globes, it seems like Substance is going to max out. It's going to probably get lead actress in a musical comedy. It's probably going to get musical comedy picture. It's already gotten screenplay and director and supporting actress. Obviously, maybe you said it could have got score, but getting 5-6 nominations here is just a great show of strength.
It really is that great show of strength that we need. And at this point, we're going to see, like we already knew, even though we kind of doubted, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen at the Globes? I think we both know it's happening at the Critics' Choice Awards. And so at this point, we know Substance is getting 2 major precursors, and that says something big. So we do have a very set 10 at this point, but I could start to see the Substance push its way in with those precursors. I just want to see it get guilds.
Guilds would be very nice to see. Obviously, some critics groups have been weighing in over the last few days, at least on the regional side, and Substance has been showing up occasionally in picture, specifically in like lead actress and stuff. It's been missing those director screenplay, but obviously the Golden Globe is a great precursor to get. It doesn't mean it's an automatic lock to keep going on the season. Just go to last year with Maestro. Bradley Cooper shows up here and basically is missing everywhere else. Obviously, Substance could do that, or Substance can continue to show its strength in screenplay and director for the rest of the season. But yeah, as we wait for them to start back up, I guess my biggest reaction so far is that I could totally see Sing Sing or Nickel Boys blank out in director here.
Dude,
they both missed out in screenplay. They both missed out in director.
Yeah, both of those are significantly vulnerable right now. I'm feeling even worse about those than I was feeling about Zone of Interest last year. But that said, we do have to remember Zone of Interest only got international at this point, and then it still managed to get into drama picture without having Jonathan Glazer, without having score, without having anything else. So those two are not dead, especially because with Sing Sing specifically, we haven't gotten to the male acting categories.
That is
which
true.
means that still we could see Coleman Domingo and Clarence Macklin show up. But we have nothing from that yet. Nickel Boys is incredibly vulnerable, though, because it could end up just having 1 nomination for picture.
And I mean, to go back to Oscar Expert and Brother Bro, they did a video of their predictions the other day, and they pulled out a very interesting stat saying, at least in the drama category, there hasn't been a nominee in that category that has gotten no additional nomination in a very, very long time. So the fact that Ramel Ross missed out on both director and screenplay, and
Ingenue Ellis
Taylor
could get in.
No, she wasn't supporting actress.
Oh, she wasn't. They've done supporting actress. Okay, they haven't done supporting actor.
So it has, unless, I mean, I don't know if there is a supporting actor in that movie they could nominate, because I would consider they're both considered leads.
There's nothing.
I mean, unless somehow Brandon Wilson or Ethan Harisi surprises in drama actor, which maybe they are the person instead of Sebastian Stan or not Malcolm, or instead of John David Washington, but I'm not going to go on that limb and predict that.
Yeah. Also, Daniel Craig is performing so well with critics so far that I feel a little silly that I didn't include him in my top 6.
I think it's fair. It just really depends on... Oh, wait. They did supporting actress. They didn't do Deadweiler. So yeah, I think Craig would
Wow.
be in over John David Washington. I guess that's the fun thing of doing these live nominations is the nominations roll so fast. We don't have time to really bake in. We're not seeing graphics. So yeah, Danielle
Yeah.
Deadwyler is out at the Globes, and I mean I still haven't seen Piano Lesson yet, but from people who have seen it, they've raved about her performance. So it would really suck for her if she gets Tilde treatment again this season, where she's the favorite all year long, and just the movie has no energy once we hit the televised awards.
Song. Guess what? No piece by piece for song.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking great for Pharrell. He's not been performing very well at the regional critics. He misses here at Globe. I mean, it's a song originally I wasn't confident at all in winning, but I thought it would still get the nominations, but it continues to miss nominations, which could mean he might be out. And look, we have graphics here for TV. This will make it easier to...
Wow,
Nominees for
this
Best
that's gonna
Performance
make
by
it
male
so much
actor in a
easier.
Supporting role in any motion
Okay,
picture
supporting
are
actor.
Wait, they've already
Ivo
seen Squid Game?
Borisov, Honora,
Borisov.
Kieran
Borisov.
Culkin, A Real Pain,
My called shot.
Edward Norton,
Okay, Edward
yeah,
Norton.
Of course.
Good nom.
Guy
Edward
Pearce,
Norton.
The Brutalist,
Wait.
Jeremy Strong,
Macklin
The
missed.
Apprentice, and Denzel Washington, Gladiator 2.
Sing Sing's getting blanked. Sing's...
The Apprentice and the
Sing's...
The
Oh my
nominees
God.
for Best
Oh
Performance
my
by
God.
a female
Oh my God.
actor in a motion picture.
It's
musical,
alive.
or comedy
It's alive.
are Amy Adams,
Are you kidding me? Amy Adams?
Cynthia Erivo, Wicked,
All right, well, we know our six then.
Carla Sofia Gascon.
All right,
Emilia
Cynthia Erivo.
Perez,
All right.
Mikey Madison,
Madsen.
Honora,
So,
Yeah.
more.
Demi Moore, The Substance,
And Zendaya.
and Zendaya,
Yep.
Challenger.
So Adams was actually our sixth at the end of the day, which, I mean,
The
no one
nominees for
sees that
Best
movie.
Television series.
But no, that's shocking. Going back to supporting actor. I mean, yes, Apprentice is here. It's alive and well. We don't have to admit
Sing
our
Sing.
defeat here today, but Sing Sing's going
Holy
to blank.
shit. A24, you were afraid of that happening with The Brutalist, that there wasn't enough screeners.
Yeah.
It was fucking Sing Sing.
That's crazy.
The nominees
That is
for
absurd.
cinematic and box
Oh,
office
box office
are
award. Here's our real one.
Alien Romulus. Walt Disney
Romulus
Studios
made it in?
Pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Beetlejuice,
And,
one of
oh,
the-
you love this now, Beetlejuice.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay, so Twisters is
Oh.
out.
Pictures.
Twisters is out. Romulus is
Gladiator
here.
2, Paramount Pictures. Inside Out 2, Walt Disney Studios.
So,
Motion Pictures.
Dune missed.
Twisters,
Dune.
Universal Pictures.
Dune's not gonna get.
Wicked,
What if Dune misses
Pictures.
drama?
And the
There's a
Wild
lot of things that
Robots,
could happen.
Universal Pictures.
Because Sing
Oh
Sing
my
could miss,
God.
Nickel Boys could miss, Dune could miss. They're
They
all
all could
vulnerable
miss.
right now.
I mean,
Because has Dune's gotten only score.
because I mean, like, drama's gonna be so weird. Because yeah, obviously we should expect All We Imagine Is Light again for director.
We should expect All We Imagine Is Light at this point.
I need drama actress. I need to see is Torres there. Is there more international contenders? Did someone major miss?
Also, just shout out to the fact that Nikki Glazer is nominated for Best Stand-Up Comedy, and she's going to be hosting the show.
Well, that would be fun.
That's interesting.
Performance by a male actor in a motion picture.
Okay, here we go. Drama. Stan.
Adrian Brody.
Is he gonna show up?
Sebastian, we want to see Sebastian Stan here. Adrian Brody.
Timothy Chalamet,
There's our
and
sweeper,
Jane
Timmy. He's here.
Daniel Craig.
Th-
Queer.
this-
He's not
Craig.
sweeping, bud.
Coleman Domingo.
Daniel
Okay.
Craig.
Wait,
Okay.
Domingo's in.
Ray Fiennes.
Domingo.
Conclave,
And Stan.
And Sebastian
Yeah, okay.
Stan, The Apprentice.
So we both went 5 of 6.
I
The nominees for best
fucking
performance by a female
told
actor in
all
a
of
motion
you.
picture drama are
I told y'all.
Pamela Anderson.
Pamela
We were right,
Anderson.
Dylan. Woo!
Angelina Jolie. Maria.
So
Pamela
someone's
Anderson.
missing.
That's an
Nicole
old
Kidman,
Globes
Baby
thing
Girl.
to do. That's what I was saying before. Old
Tilda
Globes.
Swinton, The
Okay, there's
Next
Room
Saoirse
Next Door has
Ronan's
some
missing.
sort of life.
Fernanda
Saoirse
Yeah.
Ronan is missing.
Yep, Ronan missed.
Ronan's gone.
and Kate Winslet.
And Winslet. This is an old Globesy lineup to the
The
T.
nominees
What-
for Best
what
Motion
missed
Picture,
there?
musical or comedy
Something.
Ronan.
are Honora.
Okay, so we're in comedy
Marianne
now.
John Baptiste. Marianne John
Challenger,
Baptiste wasn't there.
Amazon, MGM,
Okay, so they're doing the top 6. Challengers showed up.
Amelia Perez,
Mm-hmm.
Netflix.
Substance, Wicked, Real
A
Pain.
Real Pain, Searchlight Pictures. The Substance
Yeah.
movie. And Wicked,
Okay.
Universal Pictures.
But yeah,
Easy.
John Baptiste is one that has felt weird to me all season, but I get like she's dominating the critics, but
Critics
TV awards is where I'm seeing.
Sweeper.
All right, we're in drama now.
A complete
Okay.
unknown.
Okay, so complete unknowns here. Does Dune show up?
Conclave, focus.
Dune is next. Does it show?
And there's no All We Imagine Is Light.
Okay.
So
Dune did make it in. Nickel Boys gets in with nothing else.
wow, and that's never happened before.
What? what missed? Oh, Sing Sing missed. Sing Sing missed for September 5th.
Oh Christ! Which got nothing else.
I do not want to
Nickel
look at our
Boys
Discord
answer.
right now. What are people going on about in there for
God
September
damn it.
5? Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
And I believe that was all the nominations.
Wow, Sing Sing got screwed. Wow.
That is crazy.
That September 5th, it did it. Okay, so my general take on this, and then I want to hear your general take right after. My general take from the Globes today is we had one year where the Globes went crazy on not being very Globesy. And this year they have a lot of stuff like that. Like All We Imagine Is Light and Director would never happen with the old Globes. But there's a few things here that are distinctly old Globes. September 5th, Pamela Anderson, that is old Globes behavior. That's so old Globes.
It
So
is
it's
old.
a mix. I think we're hitting that middle ground now.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right with that. It's a mix between the old voters because they're still around. They may have reformed by adding new people, but they didn't really boot out the old people. So like they're still here, and then the new people are feeding in those "I'm Still Here" and drama, All We Imagine a Light, and director type nominations. What's just crazy to me is the fact that some movies so underperformed and underperformed in just weird ways. Like they clearly saw Sing Sing. They gave Coleman Domingo a lead actor nomination, but it missed out on picture, it missed out on screenplay, it missed out on Clarence Macklin. And like there's so many people who I would consider as number one and number two in their categories that are missing in their respective categories, which I think will just throw a real shakeup into the season.
Absolutely. Shake-up is a great way to say it. And Marianne Jean-Baptiste, that is a hit against her. She's been riding so high on these critic groups, but this is not great for her. She is going to get the BAFTA. It's possible she may even win the BAFTA, but at this point, missing the Globes is a significant sign of weakness, and she's likely not going to make the Critics' Choice Awards, which means...
She won't make SAG.
And SAG. She's not going to make SAG, so she's exclusively riding on BAFTA at this point. But Tilda Swinton making it here, that's nice.
Yeah, Swinton's, I guess that goes back to me with Room Next Door. Is like that movie's just so hard to read because it missed everything else. It just got Swinton. So for me, that solidifies that its Best Picture chances are most likely dead. And we go back to the AFI 10 the other day, and everyone's saying, "Oh, this is our locked best 10. This is our best 10." And I was saying, well, if one movie misses, it's probably for Room Next Door because the EFAs hadn't happened at that point. Maybe it could have won an award there. It didn't. And then here at Globes, I think it drastically underperformed. It missed score. It missed screenplay. It missed drama picture. So it's just Swinton. So if I had to say what is number 11 in Best Picture right now, I would say it's The Substance.
The Substance is the only thing that's shown significant strength. But again, I don't want to be too reactionary. This is just the Globes. Because I would want to see the same level or more of an overperformance at the Critics' Choice Awards.
And I mean, I think going into the season, we have been a little bit lower on The Substance in terms of its Oscar prospects. But we both had been saying we expected to do well at Globes. To me, this is an overperformance from the well I was expecting. And then Critics' Choice is where I was expecting to hit the most. So what I would really like to see, obviously this bodes well, so I'm moving it from like 13, 14 up to 11, is then when we get to Globes winners, can it pull off a shocking win in a category? or when we get to CCA, like you said, some surprise nominations. But specifically, I'm looking for SAG. Does more actually get in? Does quality get in? Those are things that would make me shoot this film up, not just to number 10, but over the likes of my number 10, number 9, number 8 type contenders.
So some other big surprises, shockers here. I mean, not shockers to us, but I think it's going to be a shocker to everyone else that we've been right all along about Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong. People have been saying they're not going to get nominated anywhere. They're going to be forgotten completely. And what have we been saying all along? We've been saying international bodies like Golden Globes, like BAFTA, they are going to go for this movie because it's that type of movie. It's not an American film. It is an international film talking about what's going on in America. They are here. I think we're going to get a false, I think people who don't believe in them still are going to get false confirmation that they're not happening when they don't show up at Critics' Choice. But they're here. And that's part of the path you and I have been saying all year long.
And I mean, I expect them to continue this path. Yes, maybe they miss on CCA. If CCA is just doing 6, maybe I could still see Stan or maybe just Strong, but both of them might be a little harder because obviously we have our Globe 6 here, but we're missing Clarence Macklin, who is not missing over at CCA. But I think you're right, BAFTA, both of them are going to get in. I would go as far to say SAG. Both of them will probably get in, and at that point, you have 3 of the big 4 precursors. There's no reason to predict a major snub for the Oscars, but you may give us praise here, but I will take my L in 2 specific categories. Felicity Jones shows up for the first time in all of awards season in supporting actress. She had missed at so many regional critic groups that were going out in support of Brutalist in droves. Now she finally gets her first nomination. So now I will say, hey, she is alive and well, so it is time to potentially move her into my 5. And the other one I more want to take my L for is Denis Villeneuve is not here for director. So you'll have to stay tuned for our next Best Picture, Best Director update to see who is my new number 1.
Oh, okay, what I want to do now is quickly, let's just go through each category, talk about snubs, surprises, and then make a win prediction. Should we start at the smaller nominations or should we start at the biggest?
I say let's start up top. Best Motion Picture Drama. And obviously, we both went 5 of 6 in this category. We both missed out on Sing Sing. Mm-hmm. We both did not have September 5th or September 5. I guess I should say it correctly. So, I mean, if I'm making a win prediction right now, obviously Brutalist got more nominations than I expected, but Conclave didn't miss anything. And that was my prediction before. So I am still having Conclave here in drama.
I'm also sticking with Conclave. I mean, at this point, I think we saw significant vulnerabilities for everything in this category except The Brutalist and Conclave. Man, September 5 is such a weird Globes thing to do.
It's why we love the Globes, though. That's why we love the Globes.
It's crazy. They're giving that and Nickel Boys. It's like, also, what opposite films to give one nomination and one nomination only? That's crazy. I'm sticking with Conclave here, especially in a world where we're seeing a movie like September 5 pop in here. Then to me, it makes a lot of sense that they would go with a more typically Globesy choice, which would be Conclave over The Brutalist.
That's going to move us over to musical comedy, and we went 6 for 6 in predictions here.
I went 5.
And
I denied the
Substance.
Have
Substance.
That's right. I had Hitman over the Substance. So I went 5 for 6. You went 6 for 6. So that's good on you. That's my fault here. But to me, you know, I was expecting a slight underperformance for the Substance. And so I was putting Hitman in here instead. But really, no big surprises in this category at all. It's exactly the way that it should have been. So to me, it comes down to, do they do a very old Globes thing and go with Wicked? Or do they go with one of the new Globes things, which would be Anora or Amelia Perez, which is a mix of new and old Globes? I think I'd go with the mix of new and old Globes. I'm going Amelia Perez.
So at least for me, coming into today, I had Wicked at my number 1, but I was also expecting John Chu to get into director. which he did not. Obviously, it can still win this category, but with Denis missing on director, I need to have a new person winning there. So I think that I'm going to agree with you and have Emilia Perez as my number 1, but I might switch back to Wicked by the time we post this later today. And that's to move us over to Best Director, where obviously we have a few, you could call them major snubs. Capadia gets in, Fargate gets in for Substance. They both overtake the expected nominations of Villeneuve for Dune Part 2, and some people, including both of us, had Ramel Ross for Nickel Boys. So I went 4 for 6 in this category. Did you as well? I can't remember.
I went 4 for 6. I just want to say, cool it on the expected nomination of Denis Villeneuve. Was it expected? I don't know.
I mean, if you go to like Gold Derby, you go to Awards Expert, he was in the top 4. It wasn't like he was number 6. So I would say for most people, but I will give you props, you were expecting a miss here.
Yes, but that said, I was expecting a miss in favor of John Chu. So I also lost. But yeah, Ramel Ross missing here. I think despite the fact that Nickel Boys was saved by getting a film nomination, it's still showing a bit of weakness for that. There's a lot of movies showing weakness now, and it's making me feel like I have to rejig my Best Picture order and have Sing Sing and Nickel Boys on the cusp alongside Real Pain.
And I guess for me, this kind of relates back to my Filmball team, which will be having a waivers episode come out here in a few days. And we talked about, oh my gosh, he may have 4 Best Picture nominees. And all those films that underperformed were on my roster. So that is something for me to think about here going forward. But yeah, at least in this director category, I like the shocking nominations. It's weird that Capadia gets in while not getting into drama. But what I will say, though, is her getting in here, I think potentially could have a little fun matchup in Best International Feature that we'll get to here in a little bit. But I am going with Jacques Audiard to win for Emilia Perez. Because we got to talk about Drama Motion Picture Actress, which I did not do the best at. I got, let me count, 1, 2, 3. I got 4 out of 6 here. Did not have Pamela Anderson. Did not have Kate Winslet. These are so old Globes nominations, but they make sense with our overall sentiment of today is how it's a mix of the old and the new. It's just weird to me that those would be the names that they would pick up compared to some of the other people.
It's wild that Kate Winslet and Pamela Anderson were here. Also, I just want to point out, we had so many comments on the Globes video being like, you guys are crazy for having Nicole Kidman missing. We didn't have Nicole Kidman missing.
Yeah.
Like, what
I had
what
her
were
at
those
6.
comments talking about?
I didn't have her missing,
I had her at
though.
6, too. I know, and in retrospect, I should have had her above Saoirse Ronan, but, like, we didn't have her missing. Marianne Jean-Baptiste is the one that I'm like, we've already talked about that, but I'm a little bit, like, scared of what that miss could mean, because this is a body that really should have done that. But instead, they went with, like, 2 of the most quintessentially Globes picks possible, with Pamela Anderson and Kate Winslet. That's crazy. That's like going back to 2014 when they did Jennifer Aniston and Cake.
I mean, I think this is a pretty cool lineup, at least for the Globes. Obviously, I haven't seen a lot of these films, but at least where they're pulling from, they're not really pulling from a lot of... In fact, they're pulling from 0 Best Feature nominees in either category here at the Globes.
Whoa,
so
yeah, no, you're right. Wow.
But I mean, the only
Yeah,
film
there's
in this group that really could have competed would have been Room Next Door and Drama, because obviously Outrun wasn't competing, which missed the nomination, and then the other 5 films here, including Hard Truth, which missed as well, would not really be competing. So they didn't really have the opportunity for overlap. But for this category, it's very hard for me to pick a top person to win, because each of these people are their film's only nomination besides Pamela Anderson, who also had a song nomination for her movie. So, like, and
Fernando Torres.
Oh, and Fernando Torres for a non-English language film. Yes. At least for me, I'm in 3 directions. There's Fernando Torres for I'm Still Here. If the Globes want to go so international, but for me, their nominations from top to bottom don't show they really want to do that. And I think by that point of the voting season, I think some of the buzz around that film may calm down a little bit. I still believe this film is real for the Oscar, just the unanimous praise for it now might not be as loud as it will be in about a month and a half. So that leads me to who could potentially get the Oscar nomination. Jolie Kidman Swinton, which none of them are really jumping on the page to me as a winner. I had Swinton coming into today. I'm going to keep her at my 1, but I could totally see Jolie or Kidman. The fact that they got the nomination and the fact that they'll be in the award season discussion could overtake.
We have to keep in mind that Nicole Kidman is a Globes favorite. She has 5 Golden Globes. They very easily could fall back on one of their faves, or they could choose to give someone a boost for the Oscars, which is where I would think they would go for someone like Fernanda Torres. If they wanted to go out of their way to show you guys should vote for them, if they want to be that precursor and give someone some love, then it's Fernanda Torres. But then if they want to just default to what the Oscar's doing, then Angelina Jolie is the most safe, the most strong for the Oscar of anyone here. So it could really be, I could see it go 4 ways, because I could even see it be Tilda Swinton. I would doubt that a little bit. I'm going to say Nicole Kidman is my winner.
And Baby Girl's a film I have yet to see. I've missed screenings for it twice. I'm really excited for it. And I mean, the buzz is there for Kidman. It's just, and she's doing actors and actors, so she is out there campaigning. It's just, will this film relate to wins, which potentially it could here in the Golden Globe Drama Actress category. That's going to move us over to Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, where we both went 5 of 6 because we both denied Amy Adams for Night Bitch, which we both, or at least for more so me, was really dogging on this film in our predictions episode, saying how the mighty have fallen. People were expecting her to sweep, and now she might not even get the nomination, and she proves me wrong. She's here now. She's overcoming pretty bad word of mouth on the film and a very, very small release. It opened last weekend for its wide release in 82 theaters. So, but the Globes clearly saw it, and they clearly like Amy Adams. And what this proves to me is, even with the new voting body, they still will do their Globes phase. Amy Adams, Nicole Kidman, as you just mentioned, are people who get nominated for everything they do, and they show up again this year.
I'm going to be honest. I think with this, Amy Adams could make SAG.
Yeah, I mean, she did for that Ron Howard movie a few years ago that I'm blanking on the name too. So she could have a very similar performance of SAG, of Golden Globe, maybe even CCA if they want to do 6. But I'm
You're
not
forgetting
her.
Hillbilly Elegy. Put some
Hillbilly
damn
Elegy.
respect on our vice president, sir.
That's true. I forgot about that aspect. But in terms of
That's
win
crazy.
here, there's 3 people. It's Madison, it's Gascon, it's Arrivo. I had Arrivo coming into today, but if I'm having Amelia Perez sweep, I might have to switch to Gascon, but I'm going to keep Arrivo for now.
I'm going to stick with Mikey Madison just because I need some precursor wins to give her an edge to win the Oscar. So if I still believe that she's winning the Oscar, which I do, I do have to have her as my winner here.
I think what will be really fun in this lead actress category, it's something that I feel like we've talked about in a previous episode, obviously not as much recently, but before the fall festival season really kicked off, is how I would love to see leading actress kind of be a revolving door of winners, kind of like Best Director, where each awards body could have like a new winner, and we come into the Oscars with 3-4 people, all with one precursor, and I think that would be so fun. Will that happen? Probably not. It never works out that way, but it would be cool if we can return to that Frances McDormand Nomadland year, where like each awards body had a different person, including like random people that no one would have ever expected, like Andra Day and Billie Holiday.
I think that's more likely in like supporting actor or supporting actress, where those categories legitimately could go differently every single time, especially with Clarence Macklin not being here.
Mm-hmm. Well, for supporting actress, we'll dive into that now. I don't think it will go to different people. I think it will be 2 people who alternate wins at each place, because, at least for me, it's between Grande and it's between Saldana. And I honestly don't know who I would have as number 1 in the category currently. At least to me, all season long, it's been Saldana, especially after seeing the movie. I don't know how you could deny that film for a win. But, like, regional critics are going out for Grande. Grande is winning some of these major, like, awards so far. So, like, she's cemented herself as people are taking her serious. And places that don't love Amelia Perez are going with Grande. But clearly, the Globes seem to love Amelia Perez, so I will go with Saldana.
Yes, and that's where I'm feeling too. I'm starting to feel that Ariana Grande will win the Oscar, but Zoe Saldana is in the movie that I think the Globes like more. They gave it a screenplay nomination, it could win director here. It's yeah, I have to go with Zoe Saldana. But again, Ariana Grande, I think she'll pick up the SAG. I think she could pick up the Critics' Choice Award. Yeah, I agree with what you said, that it's going to alternate between the two. Because I think Globes will go Saldana, BAFTA will go Saldana, SAG, Critics' Choice, they're going Ariana Grande. And then at the end of the day, who does the Oscar go with?
I would agree there, and I guess just to talk about the rest of the nominations here, because everyone else here, I know, at least for me, there was question marks coming in. I know most people had Jones. She does show up. But like Gomez, she's submitting herself as she is real. And I think it'll be interesting to see when we get to other bodies. Is Gomez just real at places that love Amelia Perez, or can she get in at places where Amelia Perez doesn't make it into like screenplay and overperform with some nominations? And then we have Isabel Rossellini and Margaret Qualley getting in, two people who I guess test the limits of this category. Rossellini's in like 2 scenes, and Qualley is basically a co-lead, and they both get in here because their films are very light in a category where we're looking for our number 5, and I think that our Oscar 5 could be between the 6.
It really could. Danielle Deadwyler missing here is a big sign of weakness. That is a really, really bad thing for her. Also, you say Selena Gomez could miss at places that don't love Amelia Perez as much. What are those places?
That's where I agree. I have Gomez as my number 3 in the category, but I know a lot of people don't even have her in their top 7, top 8, and I don't know how much is that.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's how much.
That's just denialism.
Yeah, is like them just hating Amelia Perez, them hating the aspect of Selena Gomez, or them just honestly believing that she doesn't have a shot. But at least to me, she's in here. She's in for CCA. She's going to be in for BAFTA most likely. And then the only one I could see her potentially miss would be SAG, because they haven't really given her every nomination for Only Murders, but she's gotten in at least once. So like they're not completely opposed to the thought. And if Amelia Perez could win Ensemble, I don't know why she would miss there either. That's going to move us over to Motion Picture Drama, which we both went 5 for 6 because we both did call Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, which, I mean, going out here, he could get 3 of the 4 major precursors, because you mentioned BAFTA earlier. I would include SAG in there as well. And I know people will be like,
yes.
actors and actors, but that wasn't the actors. It was the publicist. The actors are going to respect their peer for doing something so perseverance, and they love a good narrative, and who has a better narrative for a nomination than Sebastian Stan? But the real shocking thing here,
Bravery.
for a lot of other people, wasn't shocking. For us, it was Daniel Craig for Queer. So he is maybe in our top 7 now. It's no longer he's down in the lower ranks of the top 10.
I don't want to say shocking. Shocking is a little bit of an overstatement. I just have been expecting the film to perform less than it has been. Specifically, Daniel Craig has not missed a single critics nomination so far. He's gotten every single critics nomination that he possibly could. So at this point, I kind of have to do... at this point, I do have to admit Daniel Craig is number 6, if not number 5. And that's, that's me still riding with Sebastian Stan. But if I'm riding with Sebastian Stan, the alternate is Daniel Craig now. It's not whoever else there is. John David Washington is done. He's out. He's gone. But yes, Daniel Craig is closer than I thought he was before. So apologies to all of those in the comments of our acting predictions video yelling at us about Daniel Craig. We were wrong, but I hope y'all can admit you were wrong about Sebastian Stan, because yes. And the SAG thing, he's gonna get SAG because, like we've been saying, actors will respect it. I like what you said there, that actors are gonna want to go and support his bravery, taking on a role like this, not being afraid of the consequences that might come with it. So yeah, man, this is the start of something big for Sebastian Stan. I really believe it, at least. I really believe that. Some people might look at this and say, oh, it's just globesing, the same way that they did for Pamela Anderson or Kate Winslet, and he's not real at all. But I think it's more than just the globes being globes.
And I don't think you can even say the globes being globesy, because Sebastian Stan, while he's in the MCU, he's not A-plus list like Kate Winslet or Pamela
No.
Anderson. And I mean, I would say he's pretty on par with someone like I'm trying to think of a good comparison, but like I would say he's probably the 5th most notable in terms of starness in this lineup. And I mean, just going into some of the other people here, I think this kind of locks it. I think this kind of locks in our order of the top 6 for Best Actor. You can make your argument of who's 1 and 2, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, but Ralph Fiennes is clearly in 3, especially after that EFA loss, but he's showing up here. Number 4 be Coleman Domingo, 5, 6 is Sebastian Stan, Daniel Craig. But for our top 2, I have Chalamet at number 1. I know that you'll have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist here, and I think this will be the first step into one of them dominating the precursor circuit. I don't think this is going to be a Austin Butler versus Brendan Fraser where they split 2 and 2. I think this is going to be a clean sweep season for one of these two.
I don't agree. I think Ralph Fiennes takes it here.
Interesting. I like that.
Because I have Conclave performing extremely well, so I say Ralph Fiennes. But then I think Adrian Brody takes the Critics' Choice. I think Timothée Chalamet takes SAG, and I think Adrian Brody or Ralph Fiennes takes BAFTA.
I get this.
Maybe this is the category that you're wanting in Best Actress.
Maybe it is.
That revolving door of who's who and who wins and who loses each time. I think that's what I'm seeing in this category.
Let's move us over to actor in a motion picture comedy, and this is a category where I kind of fumbled a little bit. I think I ended up getting 4 out of 6. So not as bad as I thought, but not very great either. I didn't have Hugh Grant in. I didn't have Gabriel Bell in. But you got 5 out of 6, I'm pretty sure.
I did. I just had Josh O'Connor over Hugh Grant. So I did get 5 out of 6. And I'm glad Hugh Grant got in. He'd be in my top 5 for sure. Now, I would actually argue with you on the last category because you said that our top 6 is set now, and it's basically the Golden Globes drama 6 that's our actor 6, and our 5 is somewhere in there. Jesse Eisenberg is the one that you did not include there, and I would say he's still above Daniel Craig and arguably, possibly above Sebastian Stan at this point. I think I would still have Sebastian Stan over Jesse Eisenberg, but Eisenberg is showing up, and he is winning here.
No, you're right. You're totally right. Eisenberg, I honestly just forgot about him in that last category, but yes.
That's fair, yeah.
He's my favorite of that movie, and I really don't understand why people keep trying to make Culkin out to be this year best performance. And clearly, we're kind of on an island with this. I know there's some other people out there who agree. We've never really talked about A Real Pain as a film on this channel. We've both seen it now. We both like it to varying degrees, but to me, he's like the exceptional performance there, and Culkin's just doing kind of the funny ha-ha performance, but I get why people are gravitating his way. But yes, I agree. He's winning this category. His film's the only one that made it into picture of their respective categories. But if they were going with an alternative, I would still say Jesse Plemons is above Glenn Powell, but I know a lot of other people do disagree with that. It's so weird that Eisenberg is the one representation in our actual picture category, but I mean, I like it. Like I said, he's a great performance, and I mean, it shows the duality between drama and comedy this year. Drama is 6 films led by men, and musical comedy is 5 out of 6 films led by women.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's a really big difference between the categories this year. But good for them. Good for them. That's I think a cool way to split the lineups.
And, I mean, you were accurate in calling out no Michael Keaton for Beetlejuice. But that film did show up elsewhere, which we'll get into a little bit, because we're going to go into supporting actor now, where we have, you could consider 6 of the top, 7, top 8. Clearly, Clarence Macklin missed out here, which, is weird, but also I understand why. I mean, he's not a name, and clearly Globes like their names, and the people who
but
overtook
neither is
him,
Yuri Borisov.
But it's in a film that they clearly liked from top to bottom.
Yes,
Anora got everything.
I think that's why I'm confused about what happened to Sing Sing. What happened? Was it screener issues, or was it that they just didn't like the movie?
I think the honest answer is they didn't watch it. It's the Hollywood Foreign Press. Sing Sing did not have an international release, much of anything.
But
and the film
They
still
should
not
have had
available.
screeners.
I mean, you can get screeners, but the Golden Globes, at least, is a body to me for their entire existence, pre and post transition, that clearly doesn't care about screeners. They care about screenings. They care about going out there and seeing their A-list stars and hanging out with their buddies and be like, oh my gosh, I'm with let me pick a name here. I'm with Edward Norton. I'm with Denzel. I'm with Jeremy Strong. So cool. And maybe they went to Sing Sing like, oh yeah, Clarence Macklin. The only thing they nominated from Sing Sing was the one guy you could consider a star.
A friend of mine that I met at Cannes is actually a Golden Globes voter, and she was saying that she's really sad because she lives in Paris, and she doesn't get to go to any of the screenings for these movies. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is just that like they prioritize doing screenings for some of these, but then again, you know, The Brutalist still made it in. Sing Sing didn't. That's crazy.
And I guess it's just looking at the other nominations. People were expecting a possible Denzel snub. If Denzel's missing anywhere, It is not the Golden Globes. I never really... I know we had a talk about that in our video, but I never understood why, of all places for Denzel to miss, it would be the Globes. I honestly think Denzel is getting 3 of the 4 precursors, and then you can kind of say, well, he missed BAFTA, will he miss the Oscar? But... He's not missing Globe, clearly. He got in. He's not missing CCA, and SAG adores that man. He's not missing there either.
Yeah, I just thought that Gladiator 2 was weak enough that it could miss here. But, you know, that's not a big surprise to me. The big surprise is Jeremy Strong being here, which is a huge show of strength for The Apprentice. And I will say, on the other side, on the flip side, when we're talking about films performing exactly how we expect versus overperforming, there was an opportunity here for Anora to pick up a second nomination and show even more strength than was expected of it. And without that nomination, I am a little bit shaky on, is Anora as phenomenally strong as we were hoping it would be? And that's a little bit why I'm leaning towards Amelia Perez in some of those bigger categories versus Anora, because, you know, without getting extra nominations, it's a little bit weaker than films that are getting those extras. So, but yeah, otherwise, I mean, I'm happy that Yuri Borisov is here. Like, I'm phenomenally happy. I'm happy that Jeremy Strong is here. Those are 2 of my called shots all year long. But I think for a winner, I have to say it's Kieran Culkin. Unfortunately, I think everyone else is right, and I'm wrong. And I've been wrong all along because I've been a denial.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. He's not doing much in this movie outside of just being like, I'm the goofy cousin. I'm the goofy cousin who gets mad at everyone, which is a reductive take on what he's doing. Sure, I'll admit it. It's just one of those performances where I'm like, he's just playing himself, and he's doing it well. He's just doing the Kieran Culkin shtick.
Well, for when I would agree, it's Culkin. The only person I would say could win isn't here. So clearly Culkin is taking this one. And at that point,
unless
maybe he does sweep and Macklin's fake. Who knows?
What if there's a huge Brutalist sweep and it gets picture drama, it gets director, it gets Adrian Brody, and it gets Guy Pearce?
I mean, I know I've been the Brutalist hater all season long, but like there is no win narrative behind Pierce, and there never has been. Even when the movie was first seen, everything was about Corbet's direction. It's a return to this old style of making, and it was about how great Adrian Brody is. And people are like, oh, Pierce is good, but there's never been a win conversation around Pierce. Maybe I'll eat my words. Pierce will start shot here. He'll win at BAFTA or something. But like, I would put Pierce.
He has won Golden Globes before.
He has won Golden Globes before, but so has Jeremy Strong. So has Denzel Washington. So has Edward Norton.
So has Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, like everyone here has besides Borisov, and like at least for me, like if like Culkin has this in the bag, there's no. I don't really think there is a number 2, but like I would put Denzel above him.
No,
I think Denzel
Guy
has
Pearce
more
is
win.
number 2.
I think Denzel has more
Guy
win
Pearce
talk
is-
behind him.
Guy Pearce is absolutely number 2. What are you talking about? Just to
That's it.
spite you now, I want to put Guy Pearce as my number one, but I can't do that because it's got to be Kieran Culkin.
Well, that'll move us over to
though.
Screenplay, where this is where some big shocks happen, because Amelia Perez
Sing Sing.
and The Substance get in favor over Sing Sing, and we were having this conversation like, oh, what could be number 6? And we had a few different films that we threw out there, and it was none of them, because
Yeah.
it was just The Substance and Amelia Perez.
The Substance isn't a big shock, right? Like, that was one where if it wasn't what we were predicting, that makes sense. And that was one where we were saying it's an overperformance if it gets this, but it's not a huge shocker. And I think that just puts The Substance really firmly into our Screenplay 5. Like, really, really solidly in there. Emilia Perez, though, holy fucking shit. That's crazy that this is in. Like, that's crazy. And there's no way in hell it wins. But it just really solidifies that this is happening. This is happening.
It is, and I think that is now moving up the ranks in our adapted screenplay lineup, and honestly might be number 3 now. It might have overtaken Nickel Boys, it might have overtaken Dune Part 2 as that 4 or 5 slot, and now it's all the way up to number 3. But for the win here, I think this is very similar over to Best Director. It depends on which film is winning picture. So if you have Venora, if you have Brutalist, I get those for your win. If you have Conclave, that makes sense to me, and that's why I have Conclave winning this category.
I have Honora taking it. I mean, it's a little bit odd for me to be like, oh, Emilia Perez wins comedy and Honora loses, and Conclave wins drama and Conclave loses here. So, but I'm riding with Honora. I think Honora is such a screenplay sweeper where even if it loses everything else, it still wins here.
And yeah, that's why I have Conclave is I have it winning drama and I don't have it winning director, so this will be its big other win for the ceremony. But obviously, if Conclave is losing out to The Brutalist, then I may pick Honora, even if I don't think Honora will win its respective category, because I just don't see Emilia Perez winning screenplay. But I mean, it got the nomination. It could completely shock us. And speaking of shocking, I really don't think original score has much shocking to its nomination haul. I think we both went 5 of 6. I didn't have Wild Robot in. You didn't
4.
have Dune Part 2 in. But
I didn't have Wild Robot either.
Oh, you didn't have Wild.
I had
oh,
Saturday Night in
You
the
had
room
Saturday
next
Night.
door.
Gotcha. So we both missed out a little bit, but like at least for the win here, if they're being cool, they will go with challengers. And sometimes the Globes are really cool. They'll pick the film, Twitter, the online space's favorite score, because the Globes clearly have shown they have taste in their nominations and their wins. But if we're looking for something more conventional in line with the Oscars, Emilia Perez is here, Brutalist is here. I don't understand the Conclave win talk around for score, but I mean, maybe this is where Volker gets his first win of the season.
I think we're heading towards a Challengers sweep in score. I'm actually thinking for the Oscars, Challengers is a lone nomination for score, and it's a win. Which is wild to say, but the Grammy nomination that it got is huge. And, you know, it's not just the eligibility. None of these movies would have gotten a score nomination at the Grammys. I mean, Dune did, but again, Dune's not eligible at the Oscars. Challengers is going far. Critics' Choice are going to go out for it. Golden Globes are going to go out for it. And I could see it just clean sweep to the end outside of, like, BAFTA.
I think Wild Robot will get that nomination next year. They do like animated, but I don't think Wild Robot's getting the Oscar nomination. So same thing like Dune. Challengers will be the lone one there. And I agree. I mean, I've been on the Challengers score sweep all season long. It was more of a hope diction than a actual prediction, but it seems like that one is coming true to life. And that's going to move us over to original song, where, I mean, we have our 2 winning contenders here, depending on which Emilia Perez song they want to go with. El Mal, Mi Camino, both have been getting wins at different places, but El Mal seems like the stronger song to me. I'm sure that you probably agree.
Yes, El Mal is the stronger song here. At least, I mean, I know some people have made the argument about side A, side B for what is more in contention in terms of like the thing that they sent out to voters, which Mi Camino was side A on the record and El Mal was side B. But El Mal is the bigger song. It's the thing that people think about from this movie. It is the City of Stars. So
And then-
that's what I feel generally.
Because I think I ended up with The Last Showgirl in my lineup, at least for like Gold Derby and Awards Expert, but for our predictions video, I did not. Because I took what you said about, oh, if they're going to go with a pop star, they're going to do Miley Cyrus over Lady Gaga. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right at the end of the day. But obviously for our predictions video, I don't get the points there. But the Wild Robot overperformance here is very strong. I think it shows this film is going to probably dominate the industry awards, even if Flow is winning all of these regional critics groups so far. But yeah, I mean, besides the two Amelia Perez songs and then Wild Robot, which they do like animation and the score and song categories, they went with all big name musicians. I mean, they have Miley Cyrus, they have Robbie Williams, and then they have Nine Inch Nails with Reznor and Ross of Challengers.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk animated at this point, though, because we did just mention that, and I had been tossing around the idea of what if Golden Globes and BAFTA go with Flow. And at that point, if Golden Globes and BAFTA do Flow, then I'd have to predict that winning the Oscar. But like you're mentioning, the significant overperformance of The Wild Robot, getting score and song, shows that they really like that movie. So, and Flow missing international is another one. So that's another point. Flow missed a nomination that it could have gotten. Wild Robot picked up 2 nominations that it could have missed. So I do have to predict The Wild Robot winning here, but if we see a surprise in which Flow wins the Golden Globe, then I would actually predict that Flow wins the Oscar.
And I would say Wild Robot overperformed with 3 nominations because it got into box office cinematic achievement, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. For the category as a whole, I went 6 for 6, you went 5 of 6, but our 5 Oscar nominees are very clear to me. It's Flow, Inside Out 2, Snail, Wallace and Gromit, and The Wild Robot. That will move us over to foreign language, non-English language motion picture, where I think we both went 4 of 6. I can't remember if you went 5. You got 5? So 5 for you, 4
I got
for
Girl
me.
with the Needle. Yeah.
I guess I went 5 for 6. I had Girl with the Needle. I just missed Flow for Vermilio.
Yeah. So, and I had Kneecap in because I was expecting Kneecap to do really well here. So, Vermilio is a weird nomination in the sense that, there's really not a ton of buzz around that one at the moment. I don't think that really matters for the Oscar. I think you can take 3 of these, put them into the Oscar, and then find 2 others, which is Amelia Perez, See the Sacred Fig, and I'm Still Here are all in the Oscar. They are locked. Girl with the Needle is going to be the one that everyone thinks is real to the very last minute, and at which point, it's going to be a big ol' fuck you to that movie, which is not going to get in. I think that we've got 3 locks for this category now.
And then I think, obviously this is not a critic prediction or critic reaction video, but Fig did win a major directing prize yesterday. A directing prize that has had in the last 15 years like a 90-95% hit rate. And what I was really wanting to see for Fig today is to get into drama and get into director. And obviously All We Imagine Is Light is the one to get into director. So I personally would still lean to Fig is fake for the Oscars, at least outside of the international feature category. But I know a lot of people are going to take that directing stat and run it all season long, especially for when we get to BAFTA. But with BAFTA's rules, they can only submit 6 men and 6 women for the shortlist, and I don't know if Rasulov would make that lineup of 6.
He absolutely could. Absolutely could. And if the only way that Rasulov can get a directing nomination, I don't give a shit about how much the LA critics typically overlap with the Oscars. It's coincidence. It is pure coincidence. The only way that Rasulov is real for an Oscar nomination is if he gets that BAFTA. That's the only way. That is literally the only thing that could get him in.
And I guess we don't really need to say who we have win this category. We both have Amelia Perez. It's going to win a lot of categories here at the Golden Globes. And our final category, which I think has the funniest and most wild snub of the entire day, is the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement category, because Dune Part 2 missed. And let me tell you for what it missed for. It missed for Gladiator 2, one, a movie that's going to lose money as well as make less domestically and internationally than Dune Part 2. Alien Romulus, which is a movie that barely crossed $100 million domestically. and The Wild Robot, which made about half of what Dune Part 2 did, and Twisters, which made about the same domestically, but made a lot less internationally. So it's not even like they picked movies that made more money worldwide, like Deadpool, like Beetlejuice.
Moana 2.
Moana 2 missed.
They didn't do Moana 2. Didn't do Moana 2.
They didn't do Moana 2. That will be the first ever example of a $1 billion movie not making the lineup. But I think it goes into one thing we were talking about in the prediction video is they don't do movies that haven't already like finished. And I guess Wicked is the exception here and Gladiator 2. So yeah, I guess Moana 2, it doesn't make sense. You put it in for anime feature, but you don't give it box office. They just like the movie.
They didn't like Moana 2.
They gave it animated feature though.
Yeah, but I mean, what else were they going to give it to? I had Chicken for Linda. Were they? That would have to show that they hated it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to award Moana 2 for anything, I mean, it's going to make about 9 times as much as what Alien Romulus did.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, they didn't love Moana. They liked the other movies more, I guess.
And I guess if we pick a winner here, Wicked is the one that makes the most sense. Because last year I guess you have two options here. It's Wicked or Inside Out 2. If they're going for the movie that makes the most money, it's Inside Out 2. If they're going for the movie that made the most money that's also in a picture category, it's Wicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I went 6 out of 8 here. What was your score?
I went 6 out of 8 as well because I had Dune miss and I had Moana miss for Alien and The Wild Robot.
Yeah, same here. But we got all the others. We got Twisters. Yeah.
You didn't have Beetlejuice, but you had Wild Robot.
I didn't have Beetlejuice. Yes, yeah. Okay, so you didn't have The Wild Robot. I didn't have Beetlejuice.
Well, that is a wrap on this Golden Globes reaction video. It's going to be a little bit of a longer reaction, but I mean, hey, you get 2 for 1. You get predictions and you get reactions.
Exactly. You've got our reactions at first, then you've got our predictions. And I don't think I said box office. I think it's Wicked. It's Wicked. It's easily Wicked.
Sweet.
All right, but that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for joining us. And now I'm going to go put points into the system for the Filmball game.
But until next time, my name's Dyl.
And my name's Matt, and this has been Fantasy Filmball.